I guess to have integrity in life is a lesson that I learned very early on in life. When I was a little child, my very first early memories as a child, I remember I went to a friend's house to play, and he got his first most precious birthday present from his uncle from in the city, which we live in the countryside, who live a very poor life compared to the city cousins. So his uncle brought him a tiny little toy car, a typical toy car, but it was the most precious thing I've ever seen. So I loved it so much. When he went in to get a glass of water, I took it and ran home. And I want to show my mother. And I said, Mother, look at this beautiful thing. And she was immediately alarmed. She says, where did you find it? I said, I'm in deep trouble here. So I lied. I said, I found it on the street. And it didn't take her long to find out where I'd been before. So she dragged my hand and dragged me back to their house to made me apologize to the mother and the child. That night when we went back, and I obviously hated that experience. I thought I lost face, and face was the most precious thing in our life thing, because that's all you got, nothing else. And then we were having dinner that night, and my mother told my father in front of my 6 other brothers. And I was so ashamed. And then my father said to me, said to all of us, the seven of us, says, look, despite our poverty-stricken lives, despite we have not much food on the table to fill our stomachs, and despite there are millions of people died around us during the starvation period of time in China, but all we got is pride and dignity in life. Never lose that. So whatever you do in life, never lose that pride and dignity. And that was my first lesson, to have a really dignity and integrity in what you do and never lose yourself, no matter how eagerly you want something, but always have that as the foundation. To have integrity in oneself, especially as a leader, it is so important, because only if you can be true to yourself, to have an incredible integrity inside of you, then you can inspire, you can motivate, you can be a leader people respect. And often we see people in the leadership positions, they say one thing and they do something totally different. So the words and actions are not together. Doesn't make sense for people. So if you want people to really follow you, to follow what you say, and you first of all have to act it with that integrity. You have to have that sort of insight as a leader, radiant from within, and people then gravitate towards that kind of leadership. And I learned that very early, just as an artist performing on stage. To be a prince, you have to first of all become the prince within. Only then you can become believable in front of thousands of other people to transcend that quality. And you also, as a leader and on stage as the prince, for example, in Swan Lake, you have to be able to establish that standard yourself before others people inspired to rise to your standard. And that's precisely what leadership is all about. The only way I could sustain that courage and resilience throughout my life was something I was taught very early on. Because as an 11-year-old child, being selected to go to the Beijing Dance Academy, studying ballet, which is an art form I knew nothing about, and trained for 7 harsh years, from 5:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, 6 days a week we trained. Not only you have to have that physical talent, you also have that mental strength. But that mental strength is gradually come from that training, from that rigorous, that relentless training. So that, at times when everything faltered, nothing, no matter how hard you tried, and you can't make that breakthrough, is during these kind of times, you have to have that courage to believe in yourself, to say, with hard work, with that dedication, with that passion, and then incredible work ethic, you're going to eventually make breakthroughs. And it's about grinding down, sort of endlessly pursuing, even though things didn't go well at times, but that have that incredibly self-belief and that resilience to follow through with your dreams.